there is a part of the brain that controls most of our reality. And once we learn this powerful concept that I will share with you today, we can easily manifest whatever we choose to manifest. I will share with you a very practical guidance with some scientific background, so you can understand a little bit better how the process of manifestation works, where it starts, and why it's sometimes so hard for us to experience changes we're looking for. It all depends of the part of the brain called frontal lobe. So enjoy this video, my friend. Friends, welcome back to a new video. To anyone who's been wondering how to make something that you would love to manifest happen if it's completely out of your known territory. Like, you may have a dream, you may have a project you're working on, you maybe would love to manifest a new partner, a new relationship, and it's completely out of familiar zone and you don't know what to do. So recently I've been talking with many people who are like working actively on manifesting new experiences. And always when I talk with people like that, I ask them, what's your perfect vision of the future? And they're like, whoa, what a good question. So the thing is that we are thinking about the future from our familiar territory, and when something is completely out of what we know, we don't even dare to think about it. So we kind of limit ourselves by the memories, by our experiences until now. And today I wrote on our Instagram community a quick message that I want to read to you, and then we'll go deeper into the topic. So once I've learned this, my reality started shifting. And this is a very powerful concept. So firstly, I wrote, when you think about your future, consider it from a standpoint of infinite possibilities. Only this way can you open yourself up to something new that seemed impossible before. If all your life is stored in your memories, which is, those memories don't need to dictate what's possible for your future. Be the architect who experiments with infinite possibilities, not someone who merely recycles thoughts from the past. Think about your future like quantum physics. In the quantum world, particles can be in many places at once until they are observed. This is called superposition. Similarly, your future has infinite possibilities until you decide on one. This means that by thinking openly, you can create new and exciting opportunities that you never imagined before. Just like particles can choose different paths, you can shape your future in countless ways. Be the scientist of your own life and explore all the possibilities. So it basically means, well, most of your identity, most of your known reality, according to neuroscience, is stored in your frontal lobe. In other words, if there would be no frontal lobe, the front part of the brain, there's no you anymore. In evolution, the frontal lobe has been the last part of the brain to develop, just behind the forehead and right above the eyes. You hold the image of yourself in the frontal lobe, and what you hold in this special place determines how you interact in the world and perceive reality. The frontal lobe controls and regulates other older parts of the brain. The frontal lobe also navigates your future, controls your behavior, dreams of new possibilities, and guides you through life. So if everything we know is stored in our frontal lobe and we're wondering how to experience changes in our lives that are unknown and we don't know how it could be possible, then we need to ask ourselves how to think from a greater state of being. It reminds me of the quote of Albert Einstein, when he said that you can't solve a problem from the same level of thinking that created it. We need to elevate our state so we can think about our life, about our future from a higher frequency. And in the next moment, I will explain the process of how to do that and how to tap into the potential of your future. Scientists found out that it's not about just trying to think greater thoughts. It's not about just changing your mindset. It's about actually calming your brain so then you can think more creatively about your future. Once you calm this part of the brain by heart-brain coherence, which is a practice of meditation where you place all your attention into your heart and then you elevate your emotional state more into happiness, gratitude, joy, and acceptance. Your energy field changes, and what happens in your brain goes from beta brainwave frequency, which is quite a chaotic state we're in when we're thinking, solving problems, and complaining, judging, all of that. We go from this beta brainwave frequency more into a calm, creative alpha brainwave frequency, and from alpha brainwave frequency we slowly tap into the theta brainwave frequency, which is a state of hypnosis. It's a state where we create a bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. We suddenly become more aware of why we're doing something and what we actually would love to experience. It's a state where we become very dreamy about the reality. We're not so attached to what's present in our lives. We become more aware of what we always wanted to do, what was calling us from within, like a soul call. And we think about it as an easy possibility. We don't judge it. We don't think how it could happen. We just think as it's already present. We kind of enter the dream state. And once I've learned that, I've noticed that it's not about me knowing how to change something in my life. It's about tapping into that state and creating a new vision of the future, because in that state I can easily sense that it's already present. And why does it matter? Well, what happens in your heart energy field is something very interesting. So one of the most important continuous geomagnetic pulsations that scientists measure in the frequency window of 0.1 to 0.2 Hertz. So the lowest of Earth's continuous geomagnetic frequency, 0.1 Hertz, is exactly the same frequency as the rhythm of the human heart when it's incoherent. So the 0.1 Hertz also happens to be frequency of human cardiovascular system. The same frequency is used by a variety of animals and even individual cells to communicate and entertain the system that surrounds them. And that is called the resonance. Resonance entrains objects tuned to similar frequencies even at a distance. So it basically means when you enter this coherent state, you suddenly get synchronized with the whole cosmos, with the whole material and non-material reality. You suddenly become connected to what's present as a potential and what's present as matter. And by the way you observe reality is how reality starts reflecting back to you. So I mentioned in that message that I was reading to you, in quantum physics, in quantum world, particles can be in many places at once until they are observed. This is called superposition. It means that whatever you're imagining right now already exists as a potential, but if you're not observing it, it will never manifest. It's only when you start observing something new, you actually create space so it can enter your life. So practically it means if every single day you take time in your busy life, you detach from your known reality through a process of meditation, disconnecting from what you know by relaxing your body, finding a safe space where you can do it, closing your eyes, disconnecting from your five senses, maybe listening some pleasant music. And then when you feel relaxed, when you've kind of entered this pleasant state, you place your attention into your heart. You maybe think about something beautiful that happened, because it's much easier than to awaken emotions of gratitude, emotions of happiness, emotions of joy, maybe even bliss. And in that emotional state, something shifts in you. You relax, your muscles relax, your brain starts producing different chemistry that tells your body that you're safe, that you're fine, that you're ready to create. And, we only become creative when we're relaxed. We only become creative when we're happy, when we're joyful, when we're ready to create something new, to produce something new. And that's kind of the signal for your body when you enter these more pleasant emotional states. And nothing outside of you created that inside of you. You've produced this kind of elevated emotional state. And once you do it, you become very, very creative. So let's say you're thinking about certain memories that awaken gratitude, happiness, joy, bliss in you, and suddenly you feel that beautiful energy. And now you go from imagining these memories like you would be there, you go deeper. You imagine an empty space. And inside of that empty space, now you start imagining a new life, a life you would love to experience, or a new experience you would like to attract into your reality, or a person of your dream. Like maybe you don't know how that person looks like, or how would you feel if you would be beside that person. But think about the qualities, maybe like imagining maybe a shadow of a person, or a form of a person, or just holding someone for, holding or hugging someone, and just thinking about these beautiful qualities of that person, and think about how it makes you feel if that person is already in your life, or think about how would you feel if that problem that you have in your present reality would no longer exist. How would it make you feel? And just get into that field. That's where you start generating a new energy field. Your body is generating an energy field. It's a field of information. It's a field of light particles that are communicating with the energy field around you. And that's what is influencing matter around you. And that's what is constantly manifesting things and results in your life. So once you start altering your energy field, you actually start giving a signal to your environment, whatever you've sent out. Like sometimes when I'm visualizing something I would love to manifest, I notice that interesting synchronicities start happening, like unexpected events start unfolding, like unexpected person calls me, or I receive unexpected email that is related to that vision, and then things eventually happen differently than I was imagining, differently than I was expecting, but they unfold in completely unfamiliar ways because I've dared to think out of my familiar way, out of my familiar box. And this is a very powerful concept that shifted many things in my life, because in the past I was limited by ideas about money, like what is possible, how much money I can make. I was limited by what's possible to do with my talents, what's possible to do with my skills. I was limited by my shame, my fear of expression. And I went into meditation and I visualized myself already doing that with joy. In neuroplasticity, actually, when you think about something, like you're practicing something in your mind, your brain responds completely the same way as you would be practicing it physically. There is no difference between doing it physically, doing it actually in your real life, or just imagining it. You can actually make a practice where you're like, I think in Evolve Your Brain by Dr. Joe Dispenza, at the beginning of the book, he shares a simple practice where you're just tapping fingers like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This type of momentum, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He shares this practice and then he says, now close your eyes and do it just mentally, just mental rehearsal. And just visualize how you're tapping these fingers and see how it makes you feel completely same way as you would be actually doing it. And then when you get back from this visualization practice, do it once again, and you will see that you can do it much easily. You can do it so much more faster, and you feel like you would be more skilled. You've actually informed the muscles in your hand without actually physically practicing it. That's the science of neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly changing. So the point when it comes to manifestation is that we start to think out of our familiar zone. We dare to think out of our familiar zone. So I always ask people, like, what would be your perfect vision for the future? And if you can't make it up right now, take a piece of paper and write it down. And be precise, like, who are you? Who are you? What are you doing? Where are you living? What amount of money are you making? What's your new job, your dream job? What are you doing? Who are you? And more you become precise, more you notice that there's actually so much clarity you're getting around how would you truly love to live your life and who could you become. And the interesting process about that is what I found out in my life is that it's always my higher self speaking to me, who I'm truly meant to become, into whom I can evolve myself. So if you make it not so egoistic, like being influenced by your environment, like I want to be that rich person because I've seen someone doing that, you actually ask your heart, like, who you want to become, how you want to live your life. And then you don't trap yourself in thinking, how is this possible? How can it happen? Because you will get into fear, you will get into worry, and worry will pull you back into the state of survival where you will say, well, it's just daydreaming, it doesn't work. You need to inform yourself a little bit, maybe in quantum physics, like how the nature of reality truly works. What is the quantum field? And how mind influences matter. Like, I think Dr. Joe Dispenza shares these concepts very beautifully, or Vadim Zinald, the reality transurfing. Greg Braden shares a lot about these concepts through quantum physics in his book, The Divine Matrix, a very powerful book. And it's, again, a book that changed my life a lot because I was always skeptical about these things. I was not like a great manifester by nature. I needed to learn these processes through physics a little bit to notice, well, this reality is truly a dream. And most of the time we're living just our memories. We're recycling our memories. And when we think about something unknown, we firstly think about how it makes us feel when there is something unknown, something unfamiliar. And obviously we experience a sense of fear, a sense of anxiety, a sense of worry, because that's how we thought about unknown in the past. Like, if something unknown happens, it's most probably something scary, especially if you've been through certain traumas. So we need to develop a new concept of, or actually a new paradigm of what it means to enter into the unknown. There's place for miracles, there's place for unexpected good stuff, right? And you need to open up for unexpected good opportunities, but learn to think out of the box, learn to think out of the known, and develop a sense of clarity for the life that is a life of your higher self. So then you can evolve into that higher self. When you're thinking about who you are as the highest version of yourself, what are the emotional experiences you're living in as the highest version of yourself? What's your reality? What's the material expression of that? What are you doing? And then enter into this meditation and meet that future you. Not like it's somewhere outside of you, but as you become that new you. You become that new you and feel the emotions of that new you. I've made many guided meditations on that subject. You can find them on this YouTube channel and on our Patreon page. I will make more practical guidance on that as well, and I've made some of it already, so you can go there and check it out. It's the link in the description of this video. So the point is that you detach from what's known and you tap into the unknown new reality you've just created through your imagination that you've downloaded from your higher self. How you know that you've downloaded your ideas, dreams, and visions from your higher self? Because they come from a state of excitement. They come from a state of incredible joy and enthusiasm. When you think about something you want, and if it comes from a state of enthusiasm, joy, and incredible excitement, it comes from your higher self. It may awaken a sense of anxiety because you may still approach it from your ego, like, how is it possible? I truly can't do it. You have many limiting beliefs around it, but it's all stored in your brain that can change if you tap into that vision of a new reality. So once I've learned this process, my reality started shifting really fast. I've started doing that before this YouTube channel was created, before my art started selling, before I was doing what I'm doing. I've just started painting. It was back in 2018. I've just started painting, and after I've started doing this type of meditation, I got incredible ideas to start this YouTube channel. I got incredible ideas how to promote my art. I got incredible connections to connect with the right people, with gallery, with mentors, to come across the right knowledge that helped me to understand more of this stuff, that helped me to shift my life and become more confident in what I truly want to do. So sometimes confidence truly grows just by tapping into the version of yourself you want to become, and then embodying it in your daily life. Because if you are rehearsing it in your mind while you're already preparing your body to become that version of you, but then when you open your eyes and you notice it's not there yet, it's up on you to create it. When you don't know how to create it, you don't need to know how to create it. But start observing if new information finds you, if a new book finds you, if a new person finds you, if something happens that you would consider as a synchronicity that would introduce you to something unfamiliar. Those are all the signs that you're making a change in your energy field, and that's how the universe starts reflecting back to you that you're doing something differently. That's also a concept that Carl Jung was exploring a lot. The mystery behind synchronicities. Very interesting thing that starts happening after you start altering your electromagnetic field that's actually altered by your consciousness. When you step out of familiar box and you start thinking more in the unfamiliar new potential. My friends, I hope you found great value in today's message. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our store, AttractPassion.com, or Etsy store, I Draw My Passion, where you can find all of my art, prints of my art, original paintings. One is here behind me, back from 2018. It's called The Real Me, so look at you, the real you. This is you. It's like a mirror. And also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content, more raw content, and practical guidance, guided meditations, and so much more. Thank you so much for your support. All the links are in the description of this video. To anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one, I'm also offering coaching. You can find everything in the description. I'm excited to meet you, my friend. Until next time, one love.